Hello everyone. Today, let us add wisdom to the mind, to the life element that is formless, spacious, crystal clear, and pure within us. We are the original element, the root element. All elements arise from this root. The matter of the mind and the matter of the root element is one and the same. It is a single knowledge that no one in this world has ever come to tell or teach us. Since birth until now, some are already 70 or 80 years old. Have you ever been told that you are the root element? We have never known, have we? Do we know that we are the immortal element, a formless element, radiant, pure, utterly clear? We did not know, simply because no one pointed it out, explained it, or taught it. I myself turned back against the current and awakened within, because I longed to be free from the cycle of suffering. I came to know that the true purpose of dwelling in this human vessel is to realize the mind. Before, I had never known. There was only a persistent question in my heart. Why were we born? Why must we inhabit this body as a container? What do we truly want? We seemed to have everything, yet it was not what we sought. There was a deep inner sense that something was missing, that what we had was not the real aim. It felt as though we desired something beyond this. At times, there arose the yearning to be free from suffering, free from this world, not by destroying ourselves, as in tragic news stories, but a deeper sense that we were not born merely to eat and sleep, to struggle and compete for pieces of paper, not born to become slaves to this paper called money, not born just to consume, rest, awaken, and again toil for paper, only to purchase food, eat, sleep, and repeat, enslaved to paper and society. The question grew deeper. What do we truly want? This body weakens every day. Illnesses never known before have now arisen. When this body breaks apart in death, where do we go next? We must begin again. Before, I never knew that we are mind, the life element. The mind is the immortal element. This I had never realized. If this body dies, our mind will seek a new vessel, a body of water beings, land beings, winged beings, underground beings, beings of the sky, or even the vastness of space. We begin again as a new creature, with new parents, with cycles of harming, being harmed, devouring and being devoured, with anger, hatred, vengeance arising anew. Then we build families, reproduce, extend lineages. When that body dies, again we start over, finding a new body, learning anew. And a sense arises. Why must we keep finding new vessels, endlessly? Why does it never end? What is it that we truly want? Were we born only for this? Is this all that life is meant to be? Is this truly what we seek? Deep within, there is a voice saying, "This is not it. These are not what we truly want." Yet the answer remains hidden, for no one has ever pointed it out. There is no one to ask. If we were to ask our elders, our parents, relatives, teachers, or professors, why were we born? What is the purpose of our life? Everyone would give the same reply. We were born to live life. I knew that too, that we were born to live life. Who doesn't know that? Every day, we live life. We do what we want to do, live the way we want to live. And yet the question remains, were we born only for this? What are people in this world truly searching for? What is it that we really want? Suppose we say we want to travel the whole world. We set out to journey across the globe. We will encounter hardships, struggles, exhaustion, and still the question will arise again. What is it that we truly want? Suppose we say we want to live at sea, to voyage endlessly across the oceans. We may spend every day on a boat, facing waves, storms, tempests, enduring hardship. Our meals will be only sea creatures, no vegetables, no foods like those on land. Life will be difficult. And again, we will feel, why were we born? This is not what we are truly seeking. Then perhaps we think, where else could we go? What other life could we live? We have traveled by land and sea. What next? Suppose we say we want to soar through the skies, to always live in the air. Soon we will feel again how hard it is, and the question will return, what do we truly want? Suppose we live in a spacecraft, or dive deep into the ocean with diving gear to wander in the undersea world. Life there too would be full of difficulties, and again the same question would echo, what is it that we truly want? It is always this way. Suppose we desire to have a family. We try it, and soon we feel, is this all? What do we truly want? We may have children, build a household, and gain wealth. Suppose we become the wealthiest of all, but even that comes with suffering. Wealth cannot free us from it. We still must eat, must sleep too much, and we grow bored. Travel everywhere, and there is nowhere new to go. With money, we buy everything, yet cars beyond count, houses by the millions, food in abundance. All of it can only fill us until we are full. Then boredom sets in again. And once more, we are faced with the same question. What is it that we truly want? Even with great wealth, what does it truly bring? We eat fine foods, yet soon we tire of them. Sleep becomes dull. Go to the cinema or watch plays every day, and boredom sets in again. The body weakens with each passing day, until before long we find ourselves in the hospital, again and again, and that too becomes tiresome. We may have everything, wealth, rank, status, the praises of others, yet even admiration grows wearisome. Life becomes nothing more than endless busyness, social gatherings, obligations, traveling here and there, never resting, never stopping. It is exhausting and empty. Some advise, withdraw into the forest, find solitude in caves or quiet places. Yet living there proves hard as well, uncomfortable, deprived, and difficult. Once again, the same question arises within. What is it that we truly want? Even if we were to try everything this world has to offer, the question always remains, what do we truly want? This was how it was for me, until I encountered the words, we can be free from suffering only when we realize the mind. Why is it that we do not know the mind? What is the mind? Freedom from suffering comes when we know the mind. Have you ever heard this? That liberation is through knowing? Such words. Freedom through knowing the mind. Yet why had we never heard them before? Why had no one ever told us that we are mind itself, the life element, formless, empty, crystal clear, utterly pure? Why had no one told us that we are the root element, the origin of all? No one had ever taught this. I had never heard of it. And in seeking answers, I turned inward and awakened to see that everything arises because of thought. This realization I had never known before, never heard, never seen, never experienced with my whole heart. I had only been told that suffering comes from clinging to thoughts. You keep thinking of that matter, of the same things again and again. That's why you suffer. Why think of it? If it is bad, why dwell on it? Thinking of it brings nothing but suffering. So I understood. If one thought brings suffering, then change the thought. Replace it with another. Think of something else. Travel, exercise, study new subjects, explore knowledge never known before, watch films, listen to music. Just think of new things, good things, so that we do not think of what is unpleasant. In this way, we continue life, always chasing new thoughts, always seeking to cover over the old ones, believing this will bring ease. I was like this too, because no one had ever taught me otherwise. So the mind kept thinking in that way. Everyone thinks this way. If one thought brings suffering, then replace it with another. Think of something pleasant. Think about traveling, going to the movies, enjoying a comfortable life, admiring scenery. Better to think of good things. Why dwell on the unpleasant? They say, don't think of bad things. It only makes you suffer. Just think of good things instead. Go to work. Focus on earning a living. That's what everyone in this world does. That's how we were taught. Don't think of that. It's not good. Think about what you'll do next. Think about the future, not the past. The past is no good. This kind of knowledge is everywhere. Everyone teaches it. But no one ever teaches that all suffering arises because we do not know. We do not realize the mind. We do not know the mind. We do not see that everything arises because of the mind. Pleasure and pain arise because of the mind. Freedom from suffering is through the mind. Liberation from the cycle of birth is through realizing the mind. Yet no one explained this to us from childhood. When I turned back against the current and awakened within, I saw the inner voice speaking in my heart. I saw that all of it was nothing but thought. Everything we take to be real each day, everything we believe about being human, all of it, we have thought into existence ourselves. On the day I saw this, that is all thought, I saw the inner voice. I saw clearly that all of it was our own thinking, and the realization struck deeply. It was understood in full, truly seen. And when it was seen that everything was only thought, it was as though an explosion happened. The whole structure collapsed. Everything was destroyed completely. It was as if all the knowledge I had accumulated from birth until now, all the learning of a lifetime, shattered in an instant, as though the mind itself had been snatched out and hurled away. Imagine it. Everything we thought we had stored up in the brain, what we learned, how we lived, every way of living, all life experiences, every lesson from parents and teachers until this age. On that day, when it was seen that all of it was just thought, everything we believed to be knowledge collapsed into nothingness. It was crushed, discarded, thrown away, revealed as utterly without value. The knowledge we have carried, it is worthless. It has no real value. It is something that does not truly exist. It is as if all that knowledge was only a deception. It is like waking up from a dream. In the dream, everything seems so real, so important. Yet upon waking we see, none of it truly exists. Who would have thought that everything has no real self, no true existence? All the knowledge we had accumulated from childhood until now, all the experiences, all the learning, all that we thought we understood, was only thought. Thought we created and stored away. When I saw this, that it was all just thought, I asked, then where is the self? What are we really seeking? In that instant, it was as if all knowledge collapsed, as if the brain itself had been thrown away, crushed and discarded. Everything fell apart. And when that truth was seen, tears flowed, tears burst forth. Then came a vast lightness, a freedom as if I could float in the air. Do you know what happened? The mind loosened from its fabrications, released about 25%. This realization arose the moment I saw that everything was thought. It no longer clung as it had before. In the past, it always clung. Now it contracted inward, and there was a great sense of lightness and ease. It was as though I had been carrying a heavy burden, carrying everything, the sense of being human, the knowledge gathered from birth, all the experiences stored in memory. We had always relied on the brain to remember, to think. to record everything, every detail of life. We remembered it all. And then one day, it was revealed. Do you see? All of it is just thought. Only thought that we ourselves created. When it was seen clearly, was it really all thought? Yes, indeed. The voice speaking within, the thoughts we hear, all of it, just thought. And that voice, that inner speech, truly exists only as thought itself. When I thought of the images of my parents, relatives, children, and grandchildren, everything I had ever understood, I saw that none of it truly existed, and the mind accepted this. Everything collapsed, dissolved, disappeared. There was only emptiness, so vast it felt bewildering, as if I were lost inside the void. I was that emptiness itself, spanning the whole universe. Yet still, there was a sense of me there, and I wondered, what is this? Why is there nothing at all? Why is it all empty? What is this place? I did not understand. This was only 25%. The mind had loosened from clinging by a quarter. Tears streamed down, uncontrollably. I had never experienced anything like it. Who would ever know this? No one had ever taught such a thing. Why has no one spoken of this since the day we were born? Why did no one ever point out to us? This body is only temporary lodging. It is not truly ours. The voice we use to speak is just a tool, not really our voice. And the voice that speaks within, the constant thoughts in our minds, have you ever looked closely? That voice builds every story, but it is not truly ours. Our real essence lies deeper within. Look carefully at that inner voice, at those thoughts speaking inside. Where do they arise from? Look straight within, and you will see. They arise out of inner emptiness. Look directly, no, directly inside. Can you see that it is not your voice? Just like the voices of parents, teachers, uncles, aunts, and even the voice I am speaking now, see clearly that it speaks on its own. It is produced from the emptiness within. See how inside there is nothing, only vast emptiness. That emptiness is our mind. We are the life element, formless, empty, crystal clear, pure within. That is our pure essence. We are that pure element. The voice is only a tool. Mental images are only tools. Emotions, happiness, suffering, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, neutrality, calm, all of these are just tools, mere appearances. They are not truly us. We are the clear, empty essence inside. These movements are only surface ripples around the mind, not the mind itself. Observe this. Even the act of knowing now, as you hear my voice, see how it happens by itself. You do not need to try to hear, yet hearing is already there. It hears on its own, without training mindfulness, without cultivating anything. It is always present. The knowing is always here, all the time. The eyes know in this way, the ears receive in this way, the nose perceives in this way. But where truly does this knowing take place? Look carefully. Where does it arise? Notice the sound striking now. Where does it strike? And where is the knowing happening? Look closely, probe deeply, and you will see. It is known in the mind. The sound itself strikes in the mind. It is known right there in the emptiness within. The sound strikes in that inner emptiness. See how it knows on its own. See how the sound arises and dissolves together. The act of knowing has no form. Look closely. It is a formless knowing. It is a subtle activity of awareness, rippling without shape. It quivers as the act of knowing, quivers as contact. See how it arises and dissolves right there, in that emptiness where nothing exists. And where then is the self? Can you see? There is no self in any of these events. If only our parents, our elders, had pointed this out to us, to turn back against the current, to awaken inwardly, to observe within, to see that sound strike inside, striking the emptiness, dissolving back into emptiness. That which knows within the emptiness and dissolves into it again. See how that place is still, silent, empty. It does not become anything, yet everything strikes there and ripples there, always known right there. Do you see then, where is the self? In truth, it all happens by itself. Knowing arises by itself. Experiences strike by themselves. And there, at the center, it is empty, being nothing at all. Where then is the self? Is there any person there? Any animals there? Parents, uncles, aunts, anyone at all? See that there is nothing. Only stillness, emptiness, purity. Free of all entanglements. That is the root element within us. That is the formless life. That is true liberation from suffering. It is free precisely because it fabricates nothing. Do you see that it knows everything? Yet nowhere within it is there any self. It knows by itself, without effort. Always, it is knowing. Where then is us? The moment it is seen that there is no self, a sudden and profound realization bursts forth. It is wondrous. It expands to embrace the whole universe. You will realize what we truly are is clear, pure emptiness. One with the clear, pure emptiness before us, untouchable by the hand. It is not air. It is pure spaciousness, and it merges seamlessly with the entire cosmos. If our parents, teachers, and elders had taught us in this way, by now we would already have awakened to the pure element. We would know that we have never truly been born into this world at all. For me, when I first saw thought directly, it was already astonishing. Everything collapsed. Everything fell apart. Yet at that time, the release was only 25%. Afterward, as understanding deepened, it became clear how crucial understanding is. From children to the elderly, from the disabled to the strong, men and women, all genders, all ages, all beliefs, all religions, all nations and races, everyone can hear this. Everyone must come to learn the discipline of realizing the mind. All know they have a mind, yet none truly know the mind. What I want to say is this: we can cross beyond suffering. We can be free forever, never to return to suffering, abiding in the purest nature, one essence shared by all. When this body breaks apart, we will become that element, utterly free of suffering. It is our original nature. We will become that element, free, pure, and supremely precious. Do you know what purity is? It is so absolutely pure, and it is so at all times. Even now, it is so. To know that we are this pure element is something immense. As for being human, there is no need to speak much of it, for it is coarse. We are deceived into clinging to what is coarse, as though it were us. But do you know what is far more precious? It is our mind. It is so refined. Within it there is no movement, no coming or going. In this pure element there is no birth, no dissolution. It is the immortal element. It has no time, no distance. There is no being, no person, no self at all. No sound, no image, no emotion, no happiness, no sorrow, no feeling of any kind. Not even the act of perception itself. There is only pure, awakened clarity. This awakened life is unlike the life we lived before. Before, it was a life of sleep, of constant dreaming, walking, dreaming, sitting, dreaming, running, dreaming, eating, dreaming, always dreaming, from the moment of waking until falling asleep. A life steeped in dreams. But when the mind awakens, when it realizes itself, life becomes an awakened life, a life without suffering, a life that is fully awake. Do we truly understand what it means for the mind to awaken? Before, it was dreaming all the time. Imagine being inside a dream, believing completely in the stories of that dream. Then suddenly we are startled awake, and we realize none of it was real. To awaken is to know directly the purity that we are, to see ourselves as that very purity, to know it fully with the whole heart. That purity has always been with us. Yet why has no one ever told us, ever taught us, that we are this purity? It is so pure, so clear, so awakened, so radiant. It is untouched by anything. It is entirely free from suffering. Imagine if we had no form, no body. How sublime would that be? There is life, yet it does not rely on a body. Now, however, we cling to this body as though it were us. In truth, this body will soon break apart and die. We are not this body. We are the pure element, the mind. Yet we cling to the body, to what is coarse. See how we fall into delusion. We chase after food to feed this body, lavish meals, the best we can find. Yet the body swells with illness, cholesterol, diabetes, high blood pressure. Walking becomes hard, breathing becomes difficult, allergies arise, the body fills with countless ailments, stress builds. The money we earn is spent on doctors, and still it is not enough. Debt piles up, borrowed just to stay alive. And when sickness confines us to bed, there is no income, only suffering. We lie there worrying, trapped in stories, until at last the body breaks down completely and dies. But do you see? The mind knows nothing of this. The mind has never been born, never died, never gone anywhere, never come from anywhere. It has never been anything at all. Our mind lacks only one thing: wisdom. Because it lacks wisdom, it projects outward, attaching to a new vessel, beginning once more to learn. And so it goes, without end. Our mind will always seek out a new body, as long as it has not awakened to its own purity. It will always seek a new vessel, a new form, to learn again, and to suffer again. The moment it finds a body, suffering begins anew. But know this: without a body, there is no suffering at all. Nothing to suffer over, nothing to bind us, no need to depend on form. This truth revealed itself to me after awakening inwardly. Listen carefully. Let understanding sink in, again and again. Understanding is vital. That is why I speak, to help you understand, 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 until your mind accepts. The first step: accept that the inner voice, the one that speaks, is not you. Everything arises because of this voice. Then look deeper. Where is this voice? Why do we flow along with it? Why do we rely on it? Observe carefully the voice that keeps on thinking by itself all the time. It thinks of this, it thinks of that. It assigns meaning. I am hungry. I am hearing a sound. I am speaking. Look closely. Hearing happens on its own. Awareness of sound arises by itself. We are not involved with this voice at all. When you observe, you see that knowing arises by itself. Emotions arise and vanish by themselves, and yet this inner voice keeps speaking without pause. Why do we flow along with it? Each time we notice, it is always this voice, talking on and on. Then understanding deepens. This voice is always at work. Keep observing until it is clear that the voice assigns meaning, not only to sounds, but also to emotions, to mental images, even to the act of knowing itself. When this is seen, then emotions are understood as natural occurrences. Happiness arises by itself, sometimes laughter, joy, delight, and after a moment, it fades away. Have you ever noticed? I saw it. When we laugh with friends or family, enjoying ourselves, suddenly there is joy. Yet at the very moment of laughing, if we look, we see the laughter itself, the emotion, the satisfaction. And in seeing it, there is the realization, this is not self. Who is laughing? Who is joyful? Who is satisfied? Who is experiencing happiness? In that moment, it becomes clear. These are just arising states, not a me. When thoughts are seen directly, seeing inside becomes simple. This is what must be understood. The most important point is the inner voice, the thinking that goes on without end. See this voice. See the one speaking inside. When you observe the words being spoken with the mouth, and then notice the words being spoken inside the mind, it is the same voice. That is the thought within. See it clearly. This is the very thing that fabricates every story. Where then is the self? Look carefully. Find the answer. Let understanding go deeper. When I saw that the voice is what creates all stories, it shattered. The voice itself collapsed into emptiness. Empty, so empty that it was bewildering, as though lost in a vast space. Tears flowed, and there was great lightness. Then the thoughts begin to be seen more and more often, seen by themselves. And once seen, understanding arises. The principle is grasped. From then on, they are seen continuously. I speak as if we are humans, so that the mind can awaken within. But in truth, we have never been born into this world at all. We are mind, the life element, empty, clear, and pure. We cannot know what we are through ordinary means, for our mind seeks vessels in order to learn. We are emptiness itself, crystal clear, exceedingly pure. Its purity is beyond description, beyond imagination. It is supreme, sublime, utterly pure, so pure that no words suffice. It is greater than happiness, indeed the very limit beyond what happiness can be called. Yet it is not happiness. It is pure. It is eternal. And for those who awaken, it is always this way. This element is pure. This element is not human. We are not human. We have never truly been born into this world. There is no world, no thing at all, only purity everywhere. Even as I speak now, there is only purity shining through. Let me continue. May you all reach this for yourselves. You already have this pure element, this mind, yet you do not know it. Listen to my voice again and again. Listen until my words echo within your mind. Then you will be filled with wonder. All doubt will vanish. You will know the truth. You will say, "Ah, so this is it." Tears will flow. There will be joy. Joy that this is what you have sought your whole life. And you will see how foolish you have been. As you keep listening, it will happen. You will see only the ignorance you once carried. And you will see what you are, the crystal clear, pure emptiness. This is the root element, the origin of all, the seed of the universe. Stars, suns, black holes, darkness, light, all phenomena arise from this original clear emptiness. This is the beginning. We are this element. Our essence is utterly pure. So the simple question, how do we come to truly learn, to know what we are? But now let me ask you first. Go back to the moment when we were newly born. How did we come to inhabit this vessel, this body? We do not know. And through this life, what is it we are seeking? What do we truly want? We do not really know that either. Ask again. If this body were to die right now, where would our being be? We do not know. Ask further. When we are in deep sleep, after a whole day of busyness, believing ourselves to be human, when deep sleep comes, everything is cut off. It disappears entirely. A simple question. In that moment of deep sleep, where is our being? Look within yourself. This is the truth. At that moment, we are no longer human. What are we then? The sense of being human is gone. All memories are gone. What are we truly in that state? Where have our parents gone, those we love most dearly? Where has that love gone? Where has the hatred we held so strongly gone? Where has good and evil gone in that time of deep sleep? Our house, our cars, our wealth. Where do they go when we sleep deeply? At that moment, there is no feeling that we are human, is there? A simple question. Where is our self then? What is it that marks us? One thing is clear. There is still life, but life without form. Do you see that in that moment there is emptiness, clear, utterly pure? This is what we cannot yet see. The crystal purity itself we cannot yet behold, we cannot yet enter. But this is what we are, the pure element. It is not darkness, and it is not light. It is clarity itself, more transparent than anything. Imagine a crystal clear openness before you, then darkness passes over it and covers everything. Yet know this, the clarity remains clear. It is not darkness. Darkness only borrows space within that transparent emptiness. And when brightness passes through, the clarity is not bright either. It remains clear. It is brightness that borrows the clear openness. We are this element. We have never been happy or unhappy. We have never truly been anything at all. Look at deep sleep. In that state, everything dissolves. Evil dissolves. Good dissolves. Merit, sin, wholesome, unwholesome, right and wrong, true and false. All of it vanishes. Where has suffering gone? Where has happiness gone? Where has humanity itself gone? All the knowledge we have gained, our studies, our learning, even if we had 8 million doctoral degrees, all the ranks and honors, all the wealth, vanishes in deep sleep. In that state, the mind is like this. Yet still, it has no wisdom. If this body breaks apart and dies, our mind will go to find another body, begin again. Do you see how foolish that is? What I want to tell you is this. Our mind is lacking only wisdom. It needs to realize that it is the pure element itself. To speak more clearly, we cannot know that we are the pure element in the ordinary way. Imagine, we are formless emptiness, transparent, utterly pure, the primal element, the life element. How could we recognize ourselves? In purity, there is nothing at all, no movement, no coming, no going, no birth, no death. It is one with the element of the universe. Imagine the universal element, vast emptiness with nothing at all. Why can I speak this way? Because this is my state all the time. It is always like this. Even as I speak now, it is so. Whoever realizes will be as I am. The same for everyone, one with the universal element. In this state there is nothing at all. No movement, no sound, no image, no emotion, no act of knowing, no memory. Nothing remains but purity. It is an element, utterly clear, utterly pure, beyond description. And this is what no one has ever taught us. That is why I must declare the discipline of realizing the mind, here, for you to hear, in the Pantawimmutti channel. Share it, so that everyone in the world may hear. Then we will be freed from suffering. We will finally return home. This is our true home. Whoever listens and inclines the mind until realization dawns, that we are the pure element. And when the mind accepts this truth, a sudden opening bursts forth. You will know directly, we are not human. It is as though the dimension of the body shatters, the dimension of knowledge shatters. Everything we have ever thought, remembered, or known bursts apart into dust. All dimensions collapse. What remains is only the original crystal clear purity. And then you will know, this is what we are. It is always this way. And in this, no suffering remains, not a trace of it. Do you understand? Listen carefully. Awaken to it. Everyone will speak only of the mind. Conversations will be only about how there is no suffering at all, how life becomes simple and effortless. Everything in this world becomes easy, without burden, without harm. There will be no more violence, no more killing, no more destruction. Humanity will enter an age of world peace. People will live together in harmony and joy. Why? Because there is no me anymore. Nothing is mine. When there is no self, there is no pride, no boasting, no claims of I am good, I am great. None of it remains. There will be no one declaring themselves divine, no one exalting themselves as superior. All will be equal, because in truth, there is no being anything at all. There is only pure clarity, equal and the same in everyone. This is how it will be. Now let us return to speaking of the pure element. It is like the state of deep sleep, utterly pure. But remember this, in deep sleep, wisdom is absent. It lacks only wisdom. We are crystal clear purity, but we cannot know ourselves as this crystal clear purity because it has no tool. Do you understand? Let me say it clearly. If we have no form, no fabrication, then there is nothing to reflect upon, nothing to recognize. Without form or fabrication, the pure element cannot know itself. Therefore, we must create tools. Like fishing in the ocean, you need equipment. Without tools, you cannot catch fish. Like journeying to the jeweled island, you must build a boat. Once you arrive, you cast the boat aside. When you have caught fish, you set aside the net. In the same way, to learn what we are, we must create manifestations. We call this the subtle body. We must generate perceptions, forms of experience, as tools for learning. The mind can do this. The mind creates everything. It can bring forth all phenomena. In fact, the entire universe is its creation. Will you believe this? You don't have to. In fact, do not believe. I do not teach you to believe. Instead, test and prove it within your own mind. Realize it directly. I have no doubts. I only share this so you may understand. We are this astonishing element. Though in truth, it is not extraordinary at all. It is the most natural thing. Yet since we have never heard it, never been taught it, never known it, it seems more wondrous than wondrous itself. When we first realize, it feels strange, astonishing, wondrous. We want to tell everyone about it. But for me, it has long since become ordinary. It has been more than 10 years like this. Nothing special remains. It is simply natural. The mind must create tools, so it creates the act of knowing. This act of knowing is like a soap bubble wrapping around itself. This is the fabrication of the mind, the gesture of the mind. It creates formations in order to have a medium for learning. Picture it like this. The mind generates knowing to envelop itself, like a bubble surrounding emptiness. It is a veil of fabrication. Once this act of knowing encloses it, it is as though we have put on a subtle body. We now have form, but it is the form of a subtle body. Inside the bubble, we are still emptiness. Yet through this bubble, we are seemingly separated from the vast emptiness outside. The universal element, once seamless, is now divided by the veil of fabrication. Before, as a pure element, there was no movement. Now, within the bubble, movement becomes possible. The bubble can send currents of energy and can perceive. When something strikes the bubble, ripples form. These ripples are received at the surface of the bubble, not by the emptiness itself. Do you see? But through these ripples, impressions sink into the emptiness. The emptiness longs for the most refined knowledge, not the coarse knowledge that arises from bodily experience. That is too rough. Even the subtle impressions from the ripples of the bubble are still coarse in comparison. What the mind, the pure crystal clear element, seeks is something more refined still, a knowing with no knower, a direct realization that everything has no self, no real existence, the awakened knowledge that it itself is the pure element. This is the knowledge the mind truly longs for. What we truly long for is the most refined knowledge, the direct knowing that we are this pure element. But how can we come to know this? We must see it. We must realize it through our own nature. Because we do not yet know, the mind creates tools, wrapping itself in a bubble of awareness. This gives it a form, a subtle body, so it can receive impressions. When something strikes the bubble, it ripples. The ripple is first the contact. Awareness arises. Then the ripple expands into effects, assigning value, giving meaning. This is where we become deluded, where we cling. The bubble then moves, attaches to a vessel, and becomes embodied, whether in human form, animal form, any form at all. With a body, there comes eating, consuming one another, conflict, anger, hatred, vengeance, then death. After death, the mind drifts on, finding another body. Again, it becomes deluded by the new form, learns anew, suffers anew, again eating, clashing, hating, then dying. And once more it moves on, taking form again. This is the cycle of birth and death, the cycle of ignorance, the endless wandering of a mind lacking wisdom. When we take human birth, we are fortunate. That is why I speak, pointing it out. We are not this body. The voice speaking inside or aloud is not us. The images in the mind, the emotions, the act of knowing, they are not us. See clearly, the voice speaks by itself. Images arise by themselves. Happiness comes and passes away on its own. Suffering too arises and dissolves by itself. Memory remembers and forgets by itself. Even awareness itself knows by itself. It hears sounds, smells odors, tastes flavors, sees sights, all on its own. Can you see? It all works by itself. The moment this is seen, where then is the self? At that moment, the bubble bursts, and we discover that we are the emptiness that merges with the entire universe. A realization dawns, clear, undeniable. This is the understanding I want you to come to. Listen again and again. Let it deepen. Understand that we are the emptiness within the bubble. The bubble is nothing but the mind's activity, the rippling of awareness, the rippling of sound, the rippling of images, the rippling of emotions. Happiness we want, suffering we don't want. These are emotions. The wish for calm is also an emotion. Neutrality, peace, satisfaction, dissatisfaction. Every state is nothing but a ripple. Whether the thought is good or bad, whether the emotion is pleasant or unpleasant, whether awareness takes this or that form, it is all just rippling of the bubble, the subtle body. We mistakenly cling to the coarse body, believing we are this human form. But in truth, the human body is just the outer shell. When we look inside, we can see clearly the subtle body, the voice, the mental images, the emotions, the act of knowing, memory. All of these are but bubbles. None of them are us. The moment we see that these things are not us, a revolution happens. The mind destroys the bubble. The bubble bursts. I myself experienced this explosion when I realized that what is knowing is not me, what is thinking is not me, that all of it is simply natural phenomena. It was like a bomb exploding in the chest. A great detonation. Then everything became radiant, crystal clear, utterly pure. A knowing expanded everywhere, dissolving into the whole universe. This is why I use the analogy of a bubble. The bubble that has wrapped around us for so long suddenly bursts. And in that moment, awakening dawns. We see, we are not human, not anyone, not anything. We are the life element, formless, empty, crystal clear, supremely pure. We are the root element, and we see directly, it does not arise. Nothing can make it arise. Even now, it has not arisen. What we call birth is the mind clinging to voice, to image, to emotion, to knowing. Each time it attaches, it becomes a birth. To believe I am human is a birth. To think is a birth. To imagine is a birth. To feel emotion, joy or sorrow is a birth. To know and grasp at knowing is a birth. Yet in truth, not one of these has real selfhood. As I speak now, there is no sense of speaking, no perception of sound, no sense of communication. Not even the sense of knowing is taken as real. This is the kind of knowledge I want you to remember. Listen to my words again and again until understanding takes root. Understanding is essential. Understand until it reaches your heart, until the mind itself accepts there is nothing that is me. When the mind accepts this completely, it becomes lighter and lighter. At 25%, when it sees all as thought, already there is great lightness. With deeper understanding, it grows lighter still. The more you listen, the lighter it becomes. At 50%, emotions lose all importance. They become worthless. Go further, and the mind begins to see thoughts continuously. It becomes natural, effortless. Awareness remains even in sleep. At this stage, 75%, it is extremely light. Doubt is gone. Understanding is complete. Yet it is not the end. There still lingers a subtle pride, a conceit. I know. I understand. This stage is filled with subtle pride, with boasting of knowledge. All that I have described, every claim of I know, I understand, belongs still to this stage of pride. It is not the final freedom. But in the very end, suppose you hear the bark of a dog, and suddenly you realize it knows by itself, doesn't it? In that instant, the bubble bursts. It explodes into the finest fragments, and then nothing of me remains. What is left is only crystal clear emptiness, utterly pure. The tears, there are no words for them. They flow without end. It is as though everything you ever thought of as you has been completely lost, dissolved away. Such a loss, and yet never before have you encountered anything so subtle, so profound. With no self remaining, the tears cannot be held back. The whole being dissolves into the all. It is utterly wondrous. This is the ending. At that moment you know, it is finished. There is no more birth. How could there be birth when nothing remains? There is no me now. None of us remain. There is nothing left that seeks to learn further, for all is known. We are the pure element itself. And because this is realized, there is no longer any need to seek a vessel, no need to be born again. The bubble is broken. Nothing remains. This is what we must all realize. Each and every one of us must come to know this truth. So I will end here. May each of you who incline your mind to hear this teaching of realizing the mind awaken swiftly, directly, to your own crystal clear, pure life element. May all come to know, here and now. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.